what's the data feed that Ninja comes with to trade Forex? What's it called? Actually, I'd prefer it if you chat here rather than Slack, if you don't mind. I mean, I'll check both, but what is it called? Actually, I'd prefer it if you chat here rather than Slack. Oh, if you don't mind. Sorry, that's. I'll check. That was me. Duh. All right, here. This is the link to the recording, which you'll be able to watch later. Yeah, but for Forex, do they use Continuum? I think they use something called, what's it called? One of you guys knows. Mr. Michael, are you in here? What's the name of that feed that we were having trouble with? Anyway, a tick chart. I mean, unless the Forex data feed is trying to aggregate the data from all the different banks, which to me, that's just obnoxious and, on the verge of being ridiculous, just trying to have a kind of a niche position in the market. Hey, I've got aggregated bank data, which is whatever, garbage. So if you have a tick chart with a Forex market and you put volume on it, the volume should be flat. Should show the same number of contracts as it does ticks, unless you've got the ticks modified in the actual instrument settings. So the problem we were having is he was using Kinetic for the historical Forex feed, which looked, right, proper. You'd get the decent relative volume signals out of it. But then the live incoming data was like 20 or 30 times bigger than what was showing historical. Now for Forex, it's like My Forex, or I don't know, something like that. Some kind of, let's see. Let me see which chart I'm on again here. So I'm having a script made. Batum, I don't know if he's in here yet, is making me a script to be able to automatically change from one screen to the next much, much more easily. Just flick a button. Forex.com, I think. Anyway, it's not accurate. Not accurate at all. I mean, the closest we can get to accurate volume data is just using the number of transactions, which is not accurate at all. But it's about as what's as close as we can get, first of all. But I'd say it's at least 20% less, 10% less accurate. So if I put, just for comparison here, let's put the daily chart of the 6E on here. I'll show you what I mean. Oh yeah, Kinetic. Somebody told me the other day that you can get IQ feed, and if you pay upfront for 2 years, then it ends up being about the same price as Kinetic. So that would definitely be worth looking into, because with IQ feed you have a separate data downloader program, which kind of takes a little bit of load off of Ninja, not a whole lot, but sometimes every little bit helps, But again, soon, once we've got the relative volume calculations offloaded into an add-on window, and that'll be happening sooner than you might expect, then the CPU usage will literally be cut at least by half. At least. if not more. But yeah, if you can't, I mean, essentially Kinetic is IQ feed, but it runs through Ninja servers. And that's where you can run into some issues, especially pretty much on rollover day. That's why you'll see rollover day looks really bizarre when you're using Kinetic. But if you used IQ feed, you wouldn't see that. And I'm thinking that's why the Kinetic data feed goes out every day. I was thinking it was my internet connection, but lo and behold, it's actually the Kinetic data feed that's getting cut. And it's because Ninja, I would assume, is working on their data servers. All right, let's just compare and see what we have here. So it's a daily chart of the Euro USD. And actually, I need to change this to a continuous contract real fast. So that is 6E compound dash compound. Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to be testing something at the same time here. All right. So this is the forum. It's starting to come around. Okay, this is not it's not how it's going to look for you guys. It's going to look a lot cleaner than this, but you see how we've got it finally taking up the full width here. And then you've got what will replace slack, is here on the left. I want to say you can pop that window out and just move it, but I'm not entirely sure just yet. This is all brand new as of today. And then these other markets will be hidden. You'll just have access to ES, crude oil. I'm going to leave the 6E up just because I'll be checking it out and exporting it at least a little bit here and there, keeping track of the higher time frames. So you'll have the ES and crude oil and a little bit of the 6E. And then for some reason, the images are not updating and filling up the full post, but he's going to work on that tomorrow. And then he's going to change this color to match that dark blue. So it should scroll right down to the bottom. And that's the 138 minute I just exported. Huh. So it is working. Okay, let's try something else. It's not going to show the ES, but let's see if it'll show crude. Yeah, so all this should be working now. Oh, and by the way, tomorrow we'll have a presentation on all of this, and it's really late notice. Totally my fault, but I'm going to buy a bunch of ads today. See if I can't get a couple dozen people in there. So that's the sign up link for tomorrow, which starts, I believe, at 9 a.m. You click on it and you'll see the first presenter is Ference or Frank, then myself at 3:30, and then Jeremy will go on about shark indicators and Bloodhound and Blackbird at 3:30 on Friday. So there's going to be 8 of us, pretty jam-packed. I think that's the most we've done so far. But this is going to be brand new stuff that people have never seen before. Except for you guys. You lucky bastards. All right, let's see. have here? 1, 2. Yeah, we never did come down. So I was thinking ending diagonal. WXY for 1. WXY for 2, actually, right there. And then that looks like A about to complete B. And then the C wave up to complete 3. And then 4 should come back inside of this high. So let's see what that looks like. If that's actually a triangle low. What's going on here? One second. All right, let me do this. Let's see if this thing is going to work. I tried to show this to you last time and I looked like an idiot, but let's see. There we go. Let's see if we get an image pop up here. Boom, shakalaka. It's working. I'm going to make it, it's 3 in a row, or 2 in a row anyway. I'm going to make it auto delete those if I export too fast. All right, so yeah, I've got a major issue, evidently. Let me see if I can fix it real fast. This is the problem with using source code. I was going to cancel it, and then I figured, well, it's so late that all it would do is make everybody mad, and I didn't want to do that. And then here it's taken me half an hour just to get 45 minutes just to get started. So we'll have to go till 6, about another hour and 15 minutes. All right, I've got to do the dirty here, real fast. This literally will take less than 2 minutes, but still, it's annoying. Yeah, right. You guys will have an error. So we've been working on the server all day, yesterday and today, and the forum as well, and making new DLLs. The problem is, I don't know if I told you last time, the build PC, the hard drive went out. Well, I was thinking it was the M.2 drive because it didn't specify. It just said hard drive failed. Call Dell. Yeah, right. Not going to do that. The warranty was void on that at any rate. So it took me a while to figure it out, but it was actually the hard drive. And that's where all of the folder structure for the installers was located. So we've had to rebuild all that. Unfortunately, rather than doing it the easy way and just grabbing it from Cedric, he tried to redo it himself from scratch in the middle of the night. and it just didn't come out right. Otherwise, I'd give you an installer right now. But what he's doing tomorrow is adding the ability for you guys to upload screenshots to this forum. And probably the week after that, you'll have the ability to post it anywhere, to Twitter. I know that's built into NinjaTrader already. It's a real pain in the butt to set up, but with our little screenshot button, it's going to be a real piece of cake. So you'll be able to send it pretty much anywhere you want. But at first, we're going to have one thread dedicated to you guys posting screenshots and asking questions, and then getting some feedback from myself or from Cedric or Bo or some of the other guys that have been in here for forever, since the beginning, which was millennia ago. What is today? 8, 9. That's it. Beautiful. Yeah, baby. Talk about a slow starter. But boy, does he finish strong. Not really. Sometimes. All right, let's see. Yeah. I know. I've got to remove you. It's a little bit tricky going from source to DLLs. You got to restart a couple of times. You need to recompile. Yes, I know. If you guys, want to dig into it right now, I can send you some DLLs. I'll do that privately though. I'm not going to send it out to everybody. That'd be stupid. But I can at least send you the DLLs. Man, this is taking freaking forever. It's coming. You guys have any questions besides what the heck is going on and why are you like this every single time? Yeah, Randall's saying, so what time frames are you going to provide in the analysis live? All the way down from the weekly, which I know is kind of, I don't think it's pointless. I think it's imperative, really, but, it's a pretty big chart when you're focusing on a day trade, but nonetheless, it does apprise us of areas that we wouldn't have seen otherwise. So I'm going to focus on the majority of the time that 138 minute down to the 5 minute. So remember, the charts are classified by value, by number. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1 and 2 correspond to row 1, tick 1, min 1, and then chart number 2 corresponds to row 2, min 2, and tick 2. All right, min 2 is a 5-minute chart most of the time, unless you're looking at bonds or some other very slow moving market like that. And the tick 2 corresponds to about as many, it shows as about as many bars approximately as the 5-minute does during the RTH session, during the day session. So in order to get signals from the market geometry template, you'll be responsible for drawing in your own market geometry on the 2-minute and the tick 1. Now you'll see signals on the road too based on what we do. But to get the faster ones, you'll have to draw those in on the 2-minute and the tick 1. And that's at least going to help, kind of lighten the load and give you a chance to at least have some input, some skin in the game, and sort of alleviate some of the possibility for litigation, I suppose. Lessen the risk. It sucks getting that phone call about, oh, well, you said go along here and do this and yada, 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 and I blew my account today. It's like, really? I said go long? I don't remember doing that. Maybe I went long and then I got stopped out, but you wouldn't have seen me blow my account. So you just let it go, huh? You didn't have a stop, did you? Nope. Thanks a lot, Daniel. It's like, well, I never told you to do that, man. That's crazy. It's crazy talk. So, yeah, we don't need all that. And to be quite honest with you, trying to keep up with the 2-minute and the tick 1, rather than doing this only 3 hours per day in the morning, this is going to be something that's essentially going to be around the clock. So I'll be doing it in the morning and trading live. I'll be doing some videos. I've got a few different options for that. We've got a tool that's built into the forum that allows you to take videos of any screen, any monitor, any application window. But, with Zoom, I can kind of bounce around from monitor to monitor. So to do that, I've got to have something called OBS Studio or another platform called Zigio. And to get those set up is going to be not an overnight process. It's going to take some time. So until then, I'll use this tool here, either Cloud App or, let's see, what's this one called? That's not it. This is it right here. Clapboard. What a terrible name. Goodness gracious. Sounds like something I don't want. Sign in using email. Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I had to change the name of that company in a heartbeat. He actually did change. It's called Story Express. So, sorry, that was a little bit rude of me, but let's see. All right, I got it going now. Just bear with me un momento. Where are you? At any rate, this is the tool that I'll be using to upload videos and embed them, and you guys can do the same. I'll work out a deal with them or something, but they were just available for a lifetime subscription for forever, lifetime, for like $40, whereas it's, I think, $20 a month otherwise. This one here, this Nimbus Note, is about to go back on lifetime sale here soon. So that's one of the buying opportunities of the decade, I think. It's basically like buying Evernote for life for $50 when it first came out. Except when Evernote first came out, it wasn't exactly the Evernote that it is today. Whereas this Nimbus Note is, I think, even better than Evernote. All right, there's Crude finally. Let's just make sure it's working. Oh yeah, cool. Thank goodness. I was about to get really upset there for a second. Here's ES opening. That was fast. And then now these are the higher time frames, and we can finally get started 1 hour late. I think Bo and Cedric are actually going to be pretty good. We're going to do some one-on-one training here. And I think we're going to have a handful of people involved in that. Some people have been begging for some one-on-one for, a fee. So we'll kind of use that as part of the means to start building out a proper, legit training course. Kind of a higher level, really intensive training course. Yeah, I guess that's not working so well. Bear with me one last second, guys. I'm going to get on with this, I swear. I'm just going to put this link up so it's in the video. You saw that note bag? Yeah, little note bag's pretty cool, but it's that's all it is. It's just a note. It's just for taking notes. It's only $11 though. I mean, can't beat that, right? So if you guys are interested in what I'm talking about, you can get all sorts of, how there's a lot of startups nowadays, like literally about 30 or 40 a day, each and every day. Well, a lot of them don't do so well. And, but that's really, that's maybe for this other site that's the case. But who's actively seeking these other ones out that are really already established, you know, industry leading companies in a lot of cases, is this guy named Noah something or other, but he founded this company called AppSumo.com. And if you can be addicted to buying lifetime subscriptions, I suppose that's what I am, the old LTD addict. But they've got some good ones, more than I'll ever use. But one on this other one, and I mean, just look at some of these programs that you can get for like $50, like this one here. This is actually the first real AI that I've seen that actually is real AI and does get smarter with what you do. And it's for doing research, not necessarily just SEO, but kind of tailored SEO. It's basically a research tool for writing articles. So this is like Google search, or Google, what's the other one? The academic or whatever it is, on steroids. And it literally will amass every single anything it can find all over the internet 100 times faster than you ever thought you could possibly. And then it will annotate it and pick out certain parts that you're looking for according to how you define your Boolean searches and all that. And then it gives the little reference for it and can actually format it into an article. It's pretty crazy stuff for $69. I think normally it'd be $100, $200 a month. But this is one of about 30 other ones that have tried to mimic this guy. I know I'm getting off topic here, but yeah, getting off topic for sure. But you can find on this one, and this Pegasun right here is a known virus manufactory in Israel. They're the guys that make the link for you to send to your wife or girlfriend that when they click on it, then you have full access to their phone. You can hear whatever they're saying, whatever's going on at all times. But yeah, evidently they sell some antivirus software. So don't buy that. But there's this little note bag on here, and I know this developer that made this. Well, I don't know him, but I've talked to him before. He's a total nerd, but he's a good nerd. So $13 for a markdown note-taking app for life. It's pretty cool. So that's one worth getting. At any rate, on with the show. Ava, you're so rude. How dare you? How dare you speak to me like that? I'm just kidding. So yeah, I'd say that's definitely the end of the third wave up, at least. That's one I failed to keep on there in real time for that low. But yeah, that's the lowest low that we connected to here in real time. Right there. Which gave us that final low for what what I think is wave 2. The guys at ElliottWave.com are thinking that this is a C wave up, or that this is a running triangle or something, or just one big ABC. So it would have to be a zigzag if they think it's an ABC. But they're talking about the dollar going into a bull market like the world has never seen. Does that sound reasonable? I swear it just boggles the mind. But anyway, that's what they think. I'm pretty sure that the EU hasn't printed quite as much money as the US has. So I don't know. I find that a little bit difficult. But at any rate, NASDAQ is through the roof, obviously. ES is still, no, sorry, YM is still below the high. But the ES is definitely, nope, it's not quite broken out. But we'll get to that in a second. So let's finish up on the euro real fast, because what it's coming up on is it's either already happened, the end of the third wave high, or it's about to happen. So this is what I had marked last time, and that would have been what, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we were right here. Yeah. And I was saying, okay, we're either making wave 5 of 3 there, or it'll come on up and hit this 138.2, this overlap. So let me run a couple of other 1-to-1, just normal everyday garbage. There's that 61.8 expansion. All right, well, that's definitely one area that's in the way. Well, that's just it. They don't have to pay it back, do they? I don't know why people think they do. I wanted to pay those people back. It's written somewhere in that 17th that we do, but what does that mean? As if those people care about the Constitution anymore anyhow. So, no, we don't have to pay those people back. That's crazy. It's absurd. So, yeah, maybe he's right. But the way that he would describe it is, because the world is so full of debt, and that debt is denominated mostly in dollars, that there is going to be a rush to pay off that debt. And I don't know about you, but I don't see people rushing to pay off debt. Maybe that's not entirely true, because interest rates are rather low. So I would imagine if people do have money, they'd love to pay off that 30-year note for sure. But, you know, is it going to be such a rush that it's going to produce the biggest bull market in the dollar that we've seen in over, well, since the 80s? I don't think so. Maybe. So he's talking about a deflationary environment in which there's a shortage of dollars because everyone is buying up dollars to pay off debt. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to make sense, right? It rarely ever does. Just like the low in crude, right? When I was talking about we ought to do a V bottom. I remember a few people saying, "How's that possible? There's without any demand." I said, "Well, the demand's about to come in at these prices. You know, what was it, below 7 there for half a day? So anything below 10, I was saying, is locking in some pretty significantly low prices for years to come for a lot of people. Hopefully a lot of farmers participated in that, but I doubt it, because they don't have any money anymore except for what Trump has given them, which they'll have to pay back. And did you guys know that you're all going to have to pay back all of those loans and whatever, or at least payroll and all that crap. With interest, of course. So all these forgivable loans are not necessarily so forgivable. Funny, huh? What sucks is all that money is the money that's earmarked for Social Security, payroll tax. Three, four. Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm thinking it's at least doing a gigantic ABC on the daily chart. And see, this is what you won't have to listen to. Isn't that going to be nice? You'll get the analysis without having to listen to all this nonsense. I mean, what a perfect marketing video this is. This is what you won't have to listen to, but you'll get some of the cleanest, most well-defined areas where the market is most likely to reverse all day, every day. Without having to listen to all this nonsense. So if that is an ABC up somehow, like if this is an expanded flat, which I don't know how it could be, but I suppose it could. Is that 261.8 a little higher? Nah, I'm not even going to talk about that. That's just to distract you, really. No, I'd say we've probably made the end of the fifth wave. It may do an ending diagonal of a fifth wave here and finally make it up to about right in there. And then we should come on down. So that would put in the final fifth wave of wave 3. And then to find wave 4, what would we do on this daily chart of the euro? Where's the end of wave 1 in parentheses? It's right here, right? So that's, I'm going to go ahead and delete this channel because we've already hit it perfectly twice, rejected from it. So this is really what we're looking for right here. Somewhere in this area. And you tend to come back near the fourth wave of one lesser degree. And that would bring you right to the top of the fourth wave, or let's say the beginning of the fourth wave, the top of the third wave. Yeah, but pain in what way, man? See, that's what everybody was saying when we were going straight down, and I was saying buy an opportunity of a lifetime. Because it's all phony, isn't it? It's all manufactured crisis. Wasn't really a naturally occurring cycle, was it? So I'm not entirely sure that it's going to be, I don't know. I know that they'll use it to change the way the world works and the way that money works. I mean, they're calling money dirty now. So they're putting that in everyone's mind. There's ads about some company that's, now that everyone thinks that money's dirty and your business is no longer taking cash, here's a way to incentivize people to use cash. It's like an ad to restaurants where they basically deduct from the tip from the server. They deduct like 3% from the server to make up for the credit card transaction fee and gift it back to the customer. I don't know, kind of a weird business, but it's at the expense of the server. So anyhow, there's a lot of mind, what going on, and that's not coming to an end anytime soon. So yeah, anything could happen, I suppose, but I'm not too sure about major crisis. Well, I mean, we're already in one, aren't we? Clearly. But are we going to go crashing down? I don't know. If we do, I can see an uprising happening. People would stop watching the television, maybe. Stop taking their lobotomy pills. Good luck with that, I guess. I know this stuff wouldn't go over very well in 1920. I mean, it's the most blatantly... Oh, whatever. Yeah, so this is what I'm looking for. A move back down. Man, that's going to be a good looking long too. So that's going to be probably closer towards the end of next week. Hopefully it takes up all of next week. 2, 3, let's see, let's count it. Oh my gosh, it's 20 bars. Yeah, that's like a month away. That's a lot of chopping around back and forth. All right, so if this is wave 2 here, just looking at a time factor, I'm spending way too long on this one, but it's in such a beautiful, perfect spot. I'm just going to do it anyway. So this is what I meant to do. Let's put this sucker up here. This is the sign up form for the webinar tomorrow. You got to be kidding me. Regular Notepad doesn't have always on top. You've got to be kidding me. So let's see. This is 21 days. Yeah, right? 21 bars. That's perfect. I think that's going to look really, really nice. And just in case I'm wrong and it's extending, we're going to run from this high to the high. And yeah, okay. I've got 2 highs to choose from, right? At that high. They're pretty close together. If I did it on the 138.2, it'd look a bit more obvious, but so how do I know which one to choose? Do I use that high, which is slightly lower, or do I use that high? Well, if I do use this high, it's exactly almost to the tick on that negative 61.8 expansion of the previous push-up. And we're using that midline as support a few days ago and today. So I would prefer that one. And if we do come down through it, I would expect to make it at least to the bottom of that. At least to the bottom of that. Okay. And we were trying to compare before I realized that my hotkeys no longer worked with the source code for some reason, but they do with the DLLs. Yeah, this would be the other target, and hopefully we get a really nice, perfect double 3 into that low, or ABC, whatever. Some kind of corrective looking count. And that's the 38.2 of wave 3, which is about perfect. It's really what you want to see. And if wave 2 were higher from the beginning of wave 1, then we would look for some kind of fib confluence there, but it's really not necessary. There's no chance of having one. So the only area that you have is that 38.2. It's not necessarily true because you do have the 23.6 retracement, which would be here from 0 to 3, assuming that 3 is in. And that's coming in right at the bottom of this closest channel. All right. So that's area number 1. And then area number 2, I'd say, is between where that 38.2 is at 1.1461 and 9 whatevers. I don't know what that, 9 pips. Yeah. And then that fib confluence zone, which is what? It's not a fib confluence zone. It's simply the high. And the 38.2 from the starting point of 1 to the end of 3. Okay. And then I'm going to clean this up a little bit. And let it rip. Export it, rather. It's going to be nice when I can do this at lightning speed and just not explain anything and actually be able to start trading again live. I'll have to post my results, I suppose. Otherwise, it's going to be meaningless. Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with China. I mean, I don't know. I don't, whatever. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. All it does is make me have heart palpitations. China's a frightening entity. Not the Chinese, just China. It's a scary beast. It's probably some kind of manufactured Cold War to keep us fixated on that while they change the world. It's very odd how the entire global system is moving in lockstep with one another. That's got to be a world first. And boy, are you shamed if you don't wear that mask. You are a SOB if you don't put that mask on. Shame on you. Don't you care about people? What's wrong with you? You're so uncaring. That's when I go up and sneeze on them. Oh, so sorry. Probably got the Rona. Just kidding. Sorry, I'm a little bit delirious. It's true. But I have every right to be. If there were a right for such a thing. Shooby dooby doo. How do you make this text bigger? I don't know. How do you? How about the old. Here it is. Nope. How about some plus? Yeah. Always on top. Where is it? I think I just missed it. Come on, man. Help me. Where is it? Well, whatever. There it is. That's what we're doing tomorrow afternoon. Please join us. I'd say we're going at least to 128, which means the dollar is going down. And it's going to keep going down for a while. I just really am not getting how the dollar's in for a massive bull market and this is somehow a C wave high. It could be, and this could be an expanded flat with wave 1 down of 5. But man, no. You see how this all looks in here? I mean, they've been counting this as wave 1 up since I've been studying Elliott wave. This has been wave 1 up and looking for a big wave 2 low. So how they suddenly now think that that wave 2 low is going to be coming back all the way down to below this low or near it? Nah, I'm not seeing it. I'm not digging it. Not feeling it, and it's totally ridiculous. However, you are right at that trend line, right? Which is what we were pretty close to last Sunday. And we have found some resistance on it. And the volume, at least the transactions, I mean, look at that. Two closes off of that area 2 weeks in a row. You know what? This is the low before the high, and that's the low. Yeah, see, we're clearly through that even. What about this one? Nah, I think we're breaking out. It's just getting ready to take off, in my opinion. We'll see what happens. All right, moving on now. Let's go to the ES. See how long it takes me to change screens here? Excuse me. 1 second. All right. Yeah. Hopefully we'll have an automated way of doing that here soon. One, two, three, four. All right. If we have made the end of 3, yeah, there's 4. Somewhere up in here. I don't think it's quite done going up yet, though. Yeah, it's a good idea. What is that? On the daily chart, you've got to put that? Or can you put it on any chart? It's got to be daily and weekly. I think it's meant to be daily and weekly, isn't it? It's been so long since I've looked at commitment of traders data. So it's at a big time extreme. Wow. Yeah, we'll see. That's that'd be all right. I mean, that's kind of coinciding with what I'm getting at, that it should come down, right? That it would come down. Let me finish up Euro real quick because I did the daily and the weekly, but not the 138 too. So I'm talking about it coming down for 20 days, 20 bars, which means a full month. What is it? The 9th. So probably until at least the end of the month, but probably near the end of the first week of September. When do kids not go back to school? Not ever. It's normally in September, right? I don't know. Yeah, so I'm still looking for more down, but after that, this would be a low that I would consider picking up some options on the future. Those have got to be too thin on the 6E. I don't know. I just get one of the ETFs. That's what I would do. I'm not giving investment advice. I'm not a licensed investment advisor. Obviously. Came up with the top of that channel just so beautifully, didn't we? Still amazes me for some reason. All right. Yeah, so down here, 115. Look right in here. And that does look like 5 waves up there, but what if it's a B wave, like a double 3 or a zigzag? And we're working on a C wave down already. Then we're looking at about a 161.8. Yeah, it's right there at 116 even. Okay. All right. Yep, that's about it. I'll leave that 138 too on there just in case And let's see. I'm going to draw it from right here to the high. We haven't really used any of those median lines, so that's probably a no-go. Okay, that's what we've already been kind of bouncing off of. Yeah, so right, you've got you got the next one just shy of that 138.2. I'm gonna clean this up a bit. What is making all that noise? Well, I don't know. If you guys are asking questions, ask them again. Let's see. And that's another thing. When I'm doing the video, when I'm doing the videos to post into the forum, it's obviously not going to be like this. I'm going to have the analysis done, and then I'll simply show you exactly what I did and why, what I'm looking for, and if it happens, what I'll do. And that's it. And I don't know where you would find that kind of analysis anywhere else. I mean, you know, just to get two markets just with wave labels on them from the dudes at Elliott Wave are what, 200 and something bucks a month? It's crazy. However, they are pretty good. But then again, you know, I think I'm pretty all right at this stuff. And I tell you what, there's nothing that even comes close to providing the areas that the exact precise areas that this stuff does. If you know of something, please tell me. Nah, I don't even want to know at this point. I'm doing totally fine. It's funny how you start off and you just bounce around from one thing to the next because you think, oh, I had a bad losing day, so therefore that system sucks. That's no good. And you just have no concept of statistics anymore. When in fact, if you would just pick up an old statistics book, who the heck is going to do that? And read that before even thinking about risking any money, you might have a chance. But really, everybody has to go through that. And after they have, they seem to end up here. I swear, I'm hearing it. I'm just not getting any. What is going on here? Is something wrong with my internet? I'm just turning that off. It's terribly distracting. It's pretty late for him. He should be fast asleep by now, but he's just fixed the source code for me. All right, so moving on. Well, moving on back to the ES. Moving on back to the ES. Sorry. I think we're probably coming up on that third of wave 5. NASDAQ is way broken through all this. I'm sure these guys are still calling for a high, right? Lower high? I hope not. I can do this fairly quickly, but for you guys that are actually going to do the analysis live, I'm getting real sick and tired of this gray, black looking charcoal. That light gray sound pretty good to y'all? Just for all the charts. Maybe I'll make the Bloodhound chart the charcoal color. Yeah, what did I have here? So I was saying, what was I saying back here? That we were in wave 3 of 5, and 3 of 5 should go 1, 2. Such an awkward little pattern right in there. I swear it makes me think ending diagonal, but it just doesn't work. It does if it's ending right now, but I really don't believe that. Let's see. Nah, it'd have to be smaller than this, and it's already just slightly larger. If it stopped on a dime and turned down to Monday, tomorrow, then possibly that could be a high. I'm just not seeing it. I'm really not. I think it's going to go at least to the top of that channel. Yeah. Let's see here. It's a heck of a lot of fib confluence zones up there. Yep, I think that's where we're headed. So we've already gapped up into this one, right? Right here, which is where I was saying maybe we'll get a 3. Well, that 3, I don't know if anybody was able to get that low there, but matter of fact, I don't know that. I think the low was already there, wasn't it? 731, 1130. Yeah, that low was already there. So, right, that's probably coming up on the end of wave 3, which would be 261.8, the size of wave 1. It's this one here, 3384. So 1, 2, 3. We're in the middle of the third of the third. And then, whoops. Dang it. And then making it on up to this fib confluence zone here. I couldn't imagine doing this without the toolbar. It would take so long. Be just about impossible to keep up with. Well, that's essentially what it was. That's why those dudes in Ecuador said don't look at anything faster than a 240-minute chart. Occasionally an hourly, but that's it. Because you have to mark up the entire S&P 500. So go for it. It's like, man, it sucks. So I kind of learned to hate this stuff at first, and then I saw them making money consistently while I was losing money consistently. I have no idea what I'm doing with this. This is so awkward in here. I'm just going to say that this is a 1 up right here. That's 1, and that's 2. And then you've got a 1, 2, 3, triangle 4, and now we're in wave 5 of 3. And that's the best I can do with that. Otherwise, it's just being stupid. So we'll just give it a 1, 2, and we're in wave 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3. I think that's what's happening here. I'm about to fall asleep. 1, 2, 3. That's not right. Yep. This is it. It's pretty much got to be it. I don't see any other option. I mean, unless you're really convinced that this thing is making a lower high, which I think is a foolish trade, no doubt, but it's really no sense in trying to pick a top unless it's really, really obvious. And this is not really, really obvious. So, however, on the NASDAQ, it's a bit looking, like a perfect 5-way move to the upside. So it does look rather perfect on the NASDAQ. All right, I'll leave it right there for now. Guys, I'm I'm terribly sorry. I got to get some water real quick. My throat is about to have a coughing fit here in a second. So just bear with me. I'll be back in like less than 2.5 minutes, okay? And then we'll finish up with what time is it? It's almost 6. So we'll finish up with crude oil. And then maybe double back to the ES for a moment. All right. Excuse me. I'll be back in just a couple of minutes, okay? Scott's asking, those guys in Ecuador use the same system I have now. No, so they had just trend channels. They didn't really use median lines, did they? No, just trend channels and Wyckoff analysis, and then they had like a MACD and stochastics on there for divergence on the 240 minute to get into weekly trades. Trades on the weekly chart, and they would hold for between 2 weeks and 2.5 months type thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, after building literally thousands of systems for nearly 1,180 pieces, I don't know, close to well over 1,000 people, it gets a little disheartening realizing that, oh my God, everybody's using the same garbage, or they've been taught by the same moron. They paid so much money for it that they believe that it's valuable, so they're not going to throw it away. I was in that same camp too, mind you, for a long time. And I mean, it's difficult to throw away something you paid 10 grand for. you know, it really is. And God, that's I think that's people's most difficult thing to do. It's why they can't seem to drop their baggage and just focus on this, which would really, really help them out a lot if they could and would. But anyway, yeah, it's unfortunate. But anyway, I learned from those guys kind of the foundations of trend channels and market geometry to some respect, to some degree. But then I started studying. I went down rabbit holes with Gann and uh, cycles and Hurst and all sorts of crazy stuff. And then Andrews with the median lines, and realized that that's really just a variation of the trend channel. And then when I started doing the parallels of the trend channel lines and drawing those from the major swing points, and then adding the volume to the chart, that's when it started to click. And then figuring out a way to make it work, make the volume signals viable on an intraday chart, because otherwise you're looking at just a massive open and then a lunchtime lull and then a massive close and then very low overnight action. So it just doesn't really, doesn't look all that useful, which is why so many people will say that volume is useless. At least volume per bar, they'll say, is useless. Whereas it's really, it's how they kind of show their hand, isn't it? It's how we see their hand. And what else is going to help you do that? What else is going to show you that, hey, there's a ton of money coming in to the market right here, even though it may not look like it in the raw volume, because it's oftentimes right after the close or just before the open. I suppose when it's the most, when it's the easiest to manipulate during the lighter volume periods. Imagine there's a guy working at a bank and he knows he's got to put in 200 million for 50 different clients over the first hour and a half across the board in the S&P 500. And his buddy down the hall has to do the same thing, and then his other buddy at Citibank 10 times that, and they all know that, even though there's rules against them trading their own accounts. You think those rules are followed? We're talking about some of the most unscrupulous people on the planet. No, those rules aren't followed. I would seriously doubt it. I mean, you're talking about being tempted with potential super easy fast cash literally on a daily basis, just about. That's a pretty big temptation. So we're headed to right here. 3387, 3390, right around 3400. I'd say we're going to be putting in the end of this third wave. Yeah. So I was thinking, before I have to step away for just a couple minutes, I was thinking this. It's got to be a 1. I mean, it can't be a triangle. It's all overlapping. 1, 2, 3. Rather than a 1, 2, that's a 4. Triangle 4. Maybe. No, it really can't be, can it? Nope. So it does have to be a 1, 2. But then 4 is inside of wave 1. See what I mean? It's totally crazy looking. I think it's a series of 1, 2s, guys. And if that's the case, then this thing is really going to push higher. Hi, Charles. Hi, Charles. What are you meowing about? Then it's probably going to go way higher. Yeah. I mean, you're talking just the top of that channel is at 35.50 in about a week. Whew. What about this one? Yeah, but back to the whole trend channels and all that. It was a bit of a shocker, really. After, you know, well, I mean, I started initially with them, but I didn't really pick up on it. I mean, it's kind of hard to believe that you can just draw some lines on a chart and then somehow that gives you an edge. Like, really? How's that work? That's ridiculous. And yet it does. It really does. It's crazy. So I had a bit of a hard time with it. And then, of course, my best friend, who's my boss, well, used to be my best friend anyway, wanted me to learn how to do automated day trading. Doesn't that sound like fun back in 2007 and 8 and 9? Perfect time to learn. Total destruction and death and annihilation. Whew, that was a rough. Poor guy. He had chunks of his beard falling out. I was turning gray overnight. It was rough. All right, I'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Okay, sorry that took so long. Yeah, that's right. Not knowing how to use it's pretty costly. Yeah, until it changes. I'm sure a lot of people got caught in that big trap with the pants down. That must have been rough. But yeah, you're right. That was about the best long that we'd seen in quite some time right here. I can't believe. Uh, or no, I did buy that, and I just got out early. I got out right here. And Charlie's got his bag around his neck, wearing it like a cape. Just walked out to the kitchen. There's like 15, 16 Canadian geese in the backyard mowing the yard. So weird. See them eat grass. Never knew that. Geese just eat grass. Anyhow, looks like pretty clearly we've got some more upward momentum here. That's your kind of middle of that funny, almost looks like a triangle, but it's not. I suppose it could possibly be, but it's very clearly not done, and I'd say this is very likely a retracement low today there. And you've got, yeah, you got your perfect channel right there, down, barely down. It's flat, more or less. And then what is it? It's going to be a trend line from right here. It's going to throw that one over actually. Slightly. Whoops. Quite a bit. So from the high or low? That's from right here. See, even that's not quite. But I bet on the RTH 1 minute. Let's just see that real quick. I'm going to flip to it actually, as a matter of fact. Yes. It's about time I clean this thing up. Goodness gracious. See, this is what we'll be on top of all the time. And Cedric, of course, is quite capable. And Bo is already pretty good at market geometry. I mean, the man's taken a 10 grand account to 20 in the past 6 months, trading micros, which is pretty cool, all documented. I'd love to go over that tomorrow. But we'll go over that at some point here in the not too distant future. And then I'm going to try to get my track record off that Dell hard drive, which is just sitting there ever since that Windows update. In other words, don't buy a Dell. Please don't ever buy. I cannot believe I recommended those people for years. That's an interesting one to watch. I don't know why it does that sometimes. It gets sticky when you're trying to delete or undraw one. So that looks like maybe a truncated fifth or something, and then an expanded flat down with an ending diagonal C wave. So that's the tiny little high before the low. This is a tick chart now, so it's going to be different than on the minute charts. But only reason I left this up-sloping lower median line is because it intersects with that high so perfectly. But if I add back the warning lines, let's see if that lines up. Close. Yeah, I'd say you've got a low there, so you're looking for either a pullback to that line at 33.30 or just slightly higher at that lower median line. I'd say that lower median line. Is that what gave us that midline? No. Nope. Nope. I'd say this actually, this channel. So that's a pretty clear 1, 2, and then, what is that? I suppose that's truncated fifth wave of 3. So let's just looking from right here, just starting from here. 1, 2, and then you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're looking for the fifth wave up now of wave 3. All right, so let's see. So that would give us wave 1 here. Expanded flat down for wave 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, truncated fifth. Yep. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So if we're looking for the end of this third wave, which is in parentheses, sorry, the end of the fifth of the third. Third is in the circle, but we're looking for the end of that fifth, which is likely to be 61.8 or 78.6 of this first wave up, just because of the size of this first wave up. If it were smaller, I'd say it's more likely to be about 100%. And these are some of the things I'll go over in those videos, which rather than having to dig through this long recording, you'll have in little 5-minute chunks. As we also build out the content for the guide, which the guide is quite massive. It's mostly all text right now, but Cedric and Bo are adding some images, and then I've got a number of videos to make after tomorrow. Might make one on just getting started with it tonight. Well, I'll do that first thing in the morning, actually. I need some good rest tonight, so I don't sound like a clown or a crazy person. As I've been known to do. 116.18. That is a really tough looking pattern, but nonetheless, we're going up. I'd say we're going up for a pretty good little while, at least to this top 33.73, and then what do we have on the other one? It was 33.86. All right, so let's say that we just draw from 2 to 4 now, meaning this little 2 to that 4. And where's the top of that at? 33.66 today, but by the time we get there, it's closer to 80. Yep. So that's where we're probably headed. Although it does look like an ABC up, so it might be doing an extended sideways move. This does kind of look a little ABC-ish. So you might come down in 5 waves kind of hard, but not, you don't want to go back inside of this high. If you go back inside of this high, then something else is going on. And then obviously this 5th wave cannot be longer than this 3rd wave. So you can't go above 33.96 and expect that this count is right. So this weekly chart is just incredible looking. Let me show you this. All right, let's see if this shows up properly in the forum now before I move on. It's starting to sound like Katie. Before I move on. Moving one up. Let's see. Only one instance at a time, okay? All right, I want to see this ES chart show up in the ES room. We were trying to figure out a way to get ES on the left and crude oil on the right, but that's not happening without quite a lot of custom programming. So, yeah. Ain't got no money, buddy. Maybe if one of you guys want to sport that. Hang on a second, I'm in crude. What? I was trying to go to the ES. And then I gotta scroll down. This will be a dark blue color tomorrow. Oh, you know what? So, yeah. It depends on where you click. So if I were to click right here, where it says activity, that will take me all the way to the bottom instantly. If I click on it here, it'll take me to the last place where, the last chart that I looked at, the last post that I looked at. But if I click here, it'll take me all the way to the bottom. Yeah, so that one didn't get uploaded, or did I not export it yet? Okay, now I exported it. Come on, big money. Well, I know it's working because it showed up 2 hours ago. Huh. That was without the DLLs, though. Mm-hmm. Yep. That was without the DLLs, so he's got something else the matter. Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, it'll definitely be working right tomorrow. Bet your life on it. I'm just going to clean these up since I'm on the ES right now, and this is the main market people trade. Hmm. All right. Put a little volume profile on this and see what's up. I can't see it. We got to do something about this selection for the volume profile. I'm getting tired of having to squint. Yep, there's the point of control right there. All right. Whatever. If we come back into that trend line on the tick chart, or even this one here, let's say that channel line. Yeah. I'll probably attempt to buy that if it sets up within the next couple of hours while I'm working on these workspaces before I call it a night. Early. Yeah, I'm talking about right in here. Okay. All right, look at this weekly chart real quick. You did buy that, Elliot? See, that's the one I wanted to buy, Bruce. But no, I got talked right out of that because I asked a question on the chat. And of course, Rajneesh Tajmarnaj Patel called me up and said, I've got a much better for you to buy. I said, man, come on. I just want what I want. No, you must listen to me and I'm going to sell it to you. You're going to love it. I said, man, come on. So I think I just bought it just to get off the phone with him. And yep, that's what happened. And I got a good old piece of garbage. That's not racist. That's how he sounded. You know, he's a nice fella. He just bamboozled me, is all. Hmm. There's that warning line, that 100% warning line. That, man, I've got a book of those in the members area somewhere in the learning material, where these are coming in right on the trend line. In this case, it's not anywhere close to the trend line, but it is a pretty clear hit. And I'm using that one because that's the high in the middle. Anytime they're that close together, I'm using the one in the middle. In this case, it's probably that one, to be honest with you. Yeah, that lines up pretty well for the actual swing highs, but not for that morning line. That's whatever. Yeah, so we may as well just get rid of them. This is why it's difficult to automate this stuff, but we'll give it a shot. Might take a couple decades to get it perfect. By then, you guys will have all been vaccinated. I'll be chilling on my desert island in the middle of nowhere. Do you mean you're not going to get it? How dare you? How dare you? Putting everyone's lives at risk. How dare you? One of the vaccine Nazis here soon showing up at the door. Nah, your neighbors will just shame you into it, is all. Them and CNN. Sorry. $33.60. I swear the prices are looking a little bit. No, they're identical. I thought I was looking at that 161.8 of wave one earlier, and it wasn't lining up anywhere close. Thought we'd already gone through it. I think that was the RTH chart though. So yeah, that's making a little bit better sense here then. Right, so we're coming up on the end of 3. Probably have a shallow short wave 4, and then go on up to break the highs. Which I'd say we're probably pretty close to doing right now. So if that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's so bizarre. You know what? I think it's just going to end up being a massive wave 1 up, sharp wave 2, smaller third wave, little 4, little 5, and then we'll get a deeper retracement that's going to look like a complete reversal down on the NASDAQ. And everybody's going to think it's all going down all over again. And right when the news gets real dark, then all the rich people will start buying and it'll turn back up. The beasts. I love this chart right here. Yep, you had pretty good reason to think we were putting in a low, didn't you? That was a gap that week. On Sunday night, it gapped up through that. Oh, man. Really thought for sure we'd get just a sharp 1 up and then a 2 back down that would come all the way back to breaking it, and then that would be the perfect entry long. You haven't had any of that. So this next push up, if we're in a fifth wave, like if that's the expanding triangle that they were calling for a long time, I mean, that's literally what they were anticipating until the low. And then at the low, they changed their mind, which is a little unlike old Prector. Maybe he's getting a little fuzzy. Too much Wi-Fi brain. Well, let's assume that's wave 1 up, because it is. That's 3. And that's 4. 4. Park the car in the yard. You want to buy and give me a beer. And 5. 1. That's the 161.8 right there. All right, let's do this one too, though, real quick. I got to go here directly. All right, I'm going to do crude real fast, and then we'll call it. It looks a little bit better. That 61.8 is the typical end of wave 5. It's either 100% of wave 1 or 161.8 of wave 1 or 61.8 of 1 through 3 or 78.6 of 1 through 3. And there is your 161.8 of wave 1, but it's already lower than the high. So, well, it's lower than the highest point of wave 4, which is right up here. So that's the rarest pattern, that expanding triangle. And you've got your only fib confluence, really. It's not really even a confluence. Let me see if I can get a little bit better work out of this. Let's see. I'm going to say this is the dividing wave here. So this is something you probably haven't seen me do before, or maybe you have. It's been a while. I'm going to say this is the dividing low that cuts it in half. And I'm going to put the 50% line on that low and then project it. So I'll draw from here. Actually, let me get my crosshairs. Well, Well, that didn't work at all. Okay, let's say the high is the 50% cutoff. Right there. That lines up perfectly, doesn't it? Interesting. I got a little bit off of it. Let me tighten it up a bit. We had a live band playing next door yesterday. Still got a headache. Katie was out there dancing naked on the tables. Just kidding. She's more of a recluse than I am. Yep, 35.90. So between 35.45 and 35.90. And I mean that could be the top actually. I mean if this is an expanding triangle, the next wave is the high. The next wave is the ending move. So it does make sense that we're putting in a pretty significant top here soon. So maybe you're right there, old Rob. Man, that's scary thing to think of, but man. Just the momentum behind this move is not looking like it's going to be stopping anytime soon, really. However, when you look at this daily chart, you can see it is fizzling out slightly. Average range is narrowing, so you've got about 280 to 240 ticks per day on average. And let's see what it is back here. 300, 350, 370. I mean, you would expect it to peter out as we get close to that high. Nobody wants to buy that high, at least if they know it's there. All right, I'm about to pass out here. Oh, that was the other one. That's right. Yep, that was the other one. It was actually the well, it was through the 50% warning line, but it was I think it was the 100% warning line from further or from closer. Like this one here. All right, crude it is. All right, I am on this weekly chart, right? Let's see what you got going on here. What is this about, Calvin? Are you even in here? Okay. All right, sorry, you filled the gap for sure, obviously, this time. I don't think we're going down at all. I think you'd be lucky to get any sort of down movement out of this. You're at pretty much the only spot to do it from, except for a little bit higher. I'm literally fading out, about to fall asleep here. There's the median line, right? It's basically the flat line across that low, these lows, all these lows. It would look so much better if it made one more low from here. But if it doesn't do it now from here, then, you know, where's it going to do it from? Yeah, this is what I had done. So I used the lowest higher low here on the daily chart. Right there. Yeah. So that gives us quite a bit different target, doesn't it? And this is the back adjusted or no, it's the non-back adjusted contract. Well, it's the same as this one. I'm gonna do a handful of these faster charts, and then we'll call it an evening. I'm pretty well faded out, guys. I've done all I can do in a day. Well, two. It's catching up to me. Hmm. Depends on the direction of the movement. So Rob asked a good question. Do you find that the extremes in volume are more predictive for lows than for highs? So if you're in an uptrend, I mean, all that's obviously defined based on the time frame that you're looking at. But if you're in an uptrend, well, then you're going to have volume spikes at, you know, every single new bar that's making a high. You'll likely have volume spikes. Yeah, somebody wanted to go over that earlier. Let's do that. So, how would you set up for this long that we just had? Actually, if this is a 30-minute chart, then you had a long signal at 11 a.m. this morning. Why is that? Why is that? You've got at least one area sloping in favor of the trade, right? Well, that's this area here on the 30-minute. What would we call that then? That would be the area sloping in favor of the trade on the operative time frame chart. So you want the, if the 30-minute is showing the long signal, you would prefer to have the area that you're trading from sloping in favor of the trade. In other words, sloping up for a long trade on the operative time frame chart itself. So in this case, you've got that pretty clearly, and you're at the VWAP. That's a bonus, and you're breaking through the bottom of the volume cluster. Let me drag this back and just see what it looks like further back. Yeah. I dragged it off screen. See, sometimes it's difficult to see it. It needs to just be a dot like everything else, right? I gotta zoom in on this. Let's do it on the hourly. Or actually, let's do it on this tick chart. Man, that's a pretty looking tick chart. Sheesh. I can't go back far enough on it, but what is that, tick 2? It's time to adjust the values of the charts, which is just in time for an update. And that's one thing I'll do with you right now, actually, is find these values real fast and show you that. And honestly, I doubt many of you are hearing me for the first time, but I'm in a little bit rare form today. I'm totally sleep deprived and exhausted and just altogether worn out. So this isn't unusual me, I hope. This is the thing, though. You're not really lining up at the downsloping areas, but you are on the minute chart. Let me just see. I see something right here. So you're definitely at the bottom of this channel. Ooh. Look how perfect that is. That short was actually, so that's a difficult short to make. Well, under normal circumstances, I guess it could be, but technically you're in a series of lower highs and lower lows, aren't you? You've turned down from pretty significant area on the daily chart on that channel line. And anytime you've got a big 2-bar pattern like that, look at that 2-bar pattern. That churn bar is even higher volume. No, not quite. It looked like it was, but I was going to say it was even higher volume than the preceding extreme density churn. But that's pretty high for the tick 2, although the tick 2 it needs to be adjusted. It needs to be made a little bit larger. So anytime you see a 2-bar pattern like that without breaking any major high, and it's slamming right into an area, in this case, just a simple downtrend line. In fact, it's better than that. It's going to be one of two areas. It's either going to be, well, it couldn't be this one, could it? No. But it could be this one. Yeah, you're just throwing it over by quite a bit. Not too much, but a little bit. That's definitely an acceptable throw over there. See, my stop would be behind that value area high anyway. And very likely this downtrend line from here, oops, oof, look at that. That's your entry short. And that's probably setting up on either the five, might be too sharp for the 5 minute actually. Maybe the 2 minute. It's probably way too sharp for the 2 minute. So this is that one rare pattern that for me to program it out, I'd have to have it all indicator based. It would take a lot of solvers to program that out in Bloodhound. Because it's a series of very precise conditions. You have to make sure that that really strong move with a huge 2-bar pattern is not breaking any major highs. Yeah, you broke that little tiny high, but you didn't break this one. And you ran right into that downtrend line. And you're probably right into the VWAP from here, from the high. Let's just do a regular old VWAP. Okay, let's move it over to the right then, where we got the trend line. Anytime you move a profile like that, like I just did, just F5 it, just tap the F5 key to reload it. What the heck? Is it reloading that fast, for real? My what? It's already fast. Huh. Yeah, so that's, oh, I did reload data, goodness gracious. Here we go. Anyhow, yeah, that's a short signal, but let's go over why we would have had a long signal at the low instead. All right, so that would definitely be a setup on the road to, let's see. Well, I would expect it would be. It better be. And it looks to me like you've got yeah, well, you've at least got momentum divergence on the tick 2. You've got momentum divergence on, oof, look at that low. I don't even remember drawing that one. Yeah, I do actually, because I shorted that high. Yep, I did too. Yep, thinking it was going to make one more low. Remember last Sunday? I was like, okay, that's probably A down, B back up. And then this is 1, 2, 3. I'm looking for wave 4, and I'm going to short that. And I did. And I got stopped out. Actually, I got stopped out that night on, what was it, a long? I don't know. But I ended up going short on Monday. I know that. And it went in my favor for a little bit. And of course, I didn't manage it as if it were real money like I should have, like I tell everybody to do. But I don't know. I got so much going on right now with trying to get all this stuff ready for you guys and get the software finally finished, or at least close to. When you see the relative volume that we're going to release, you're going to be pretty impressed. It's going to blow minds. Well, blew mine. Actually, kind of look at how perfect that is. That low. This is what you want to see. If you could see this every time, man. It's even the 100% extension, the warning line, but because this is so awkward and that's such a massive gap down, and you break right through it, what do? You drag it back to the previous low before the high. And then what do you have? You've only got so many areas to connect it to. This is what people find the most difficult, is choosing the swings. And let me just make sure that I'm on the right chart. When do I expect the new relative volume? So we've only got a concept. So we haven't actually programmed anything yet. See you, Rob, man. I'll talk to you next time. I'm about to take off myself here. It's crazy late. We just have the concept down. We haven't actually programmed anything, but he's verified that what we've kind of designed is doable. Of course, anything is doable if the price is right and the time is acceptable. But no, this is going to be relatively, I wouldn't say simple. It's going to be fairly easy to do because we have the mechanics within the reader system. So we have a lot of different parts of the algo kind of in chunks spread out. So I think we can have, I wanted to have the first one before tomorrow, but yeah. It's like my grandmother said, wish in one hand and you know what in the other. Whoop. There goes my gaming keyboard. All right. Looks like I may officially be out. That's good enough. All right. Yeah, it won't be too much longer though. I mean, that's our main focus after this release tomorrow, is getting it to where any normal everyday user of a 10-year-old computer could run it and it would run fine without having to ask people to upgrade, because that's kind of a a burden, unnecessary burden, which unfortunately we thought was just going to be the way it was going to have to be. But no, there's a lot of ways that we can optimize the relative volume. It's a nightmare. Well, let's say it's got a lot of opportunity for improvement. It's not a nightmare. Joshua was actually pretty brilliant. He just started from the wrong spot. Started the race from like 3 laps back type deal. It's called starting in the wrong spot. All right, so this is the 15-minute RTH chart. So anytime I have a wick like this at the low, I'm either going to use the lowest. I mean, that's a really strong, obvious V bottom. I'm going to use the lowest closing price or the higher low. So either or would do. I'm just going to use the higher low and then project that forward. And is that lining up? Yeah, more or less. That's definitely a hit of that area. I would be long from there. I would definitely be long from not just based on this one chart, but yeah, based on a number of other ones for sure. And then what was it? It was this swing high, right? Yep. Okay. So technically that is the high before the low, right? It's the high before that big gap down into the low. That's so perfect. It's incredible. But, you know, how many people are going to buy that? Not a whole lot. Unless you got some deep pockets. All right, so going over this trade, we've got the upsloping areas quite clearly. You've got a potential long on the 15-minute RTH, which is to say it needs to be confirmed on the row 2 chart. You've got your downsloping area on the tick 2, which is perfect. Same upsloping area on the 30-minute ETH chart using the same swings, really. Let me just blow these up and then export them. They were going to the server. Well, they're at least, I know they're going to the server, but. Oh, you know what? I bet you the DLL that I need is no longer a part of it. Sorry, I'm just going to do this real fast. Ah. Yep. That's what it was. I hadn't been activated. All right, now they're going to the forum. I love looking like a. Yeah, so once again, when you're in the forum, if you'll click over here on the activity, it'll take you down to the last one. If you click right here, see how it says last visit? That's where it'll take you to your last chart that you saw. But if you click over here, it'll take you to the current activity, which is still not right. Still not letting me upload. No. I'm missing the admin DLL. Okay, whatever. All right, so to go over all the signals, let's do this real fast and then we'll call it a day. And I got some charts that have gone blank. How did that happen? You guys have seen this before, right? If you open up a workspace and one of your indicators, even anything totally unrelated to TTP, even if it errors out, some of your charts will open up blank. That's when you want to close it down and not save it and just simply reopen it. All right, but this is 23764 627. So this is the row 2 here. So I'm going to load the row 2 template on that one. And this is the row 1. There we go, right there. So we should be about to see a pretty big move to the upside. Pretty fast one anyway. And then I need the light row BB chart. Where's that? Right here for crude oil. Right there. Okay. Unfortunately, you're not going to see the way it would look in real time, because in real time, the volume and the divergence and everything, it's all, given signals, potentially changing signals on each incoming tick. Looks to me like you're getting a potential short right now as well, as you're coming back into those downsloping areas on the tick 2. You got the kiss goodbye on the 15-minute, which it's technically way through, so that's not even valid. But yeah, you could say it is a valid potential short. I just think it's about to blow right through these areas. It's weird that template's taking that long to load. Oh, because it's reading all the other charts. Sorry. Yeah, it's going to take a minute. But then once it loads, you're good. And where did it go? This is so bizarre, isn't it? How these charts do that. How is that? It can't be only me and my computer. It happens on every computer that I have, even my laptop. Well, whatever. So right now you're getting a big, beautiful, extreme churn bar on a 2-bar pattern on the 2-minute chart. So this could very well be an actual short signal. You sure have red stripes all over the place. Yeah, look at that. So you broke through the top of the channel, and then this is the parallel from the top of the breakout, and that's what you're up against now. And then I would imagine this is, let's see, this has got to be, no, not quite. You had it at that first one, and now you're breaking out. That's dangerous. Might just be a little bit of a fake out. I see you, Charlie, wearing your cape. Hey, buddy. Good boy. Never seen a cat wear a plastic bag as a cape. He loves it. He struts around in it. So weird. He licks it until it gets just the right flavor, I guess, and then he puts it on. Weirdo. All right. This is this is actually the low after the high, right here, to the lowest low, and then right there from the highest high. That's where you are right now. And then you saw what you had upsloping. Yeah, so forget about, let's not even worry about talking about that potential long there. Well, let's just see if it even showed up on the road too. Because if it did, then you definitely had the market geometry signal. Nope, didn't quite show up there. If I wasn't so tired, I'd be probably thinking about going short right now. You've got a churn bar on the tick one. Look at that. Big churn bar. Big churn bar on the row two. You've got double momentum divergence. You've got volume divergence on the row one. And you've got volume divergence on the 2 minute. It's just not really showing up because it's so spread out. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, that's going to have to do it, guys. I'm going to keep talking all night if I don't stop now. So, any questions before we call it a night? I know it was slow and weird, but it'll get better. I just got to get back into the swing of doing the analysis every day. Finally have some awesome parts for a computer. I've got an old computer that I'm using right now that's completely rebuilt, and I'll have three backups really. 2 backup internet connections, 4 backup batteries, and a generator on the way. So if I miss a day, it's because I'm either sick or I'm lying about being sick. But I'm not going to do that, so no more of this computer shenaniganery. I'd like to have Dell pay up for these past 6 months. Yep, and don't forget about tomorrow. So here's the link once again. I'm sure most of y'all are already signed up anyway. But just in case you're not, Can't wait to have this forum actually working properly. So, just real quick, I don't know if any of you guys are actually going to be in there. Hopefully, I mean, for your sakes, but what would you want the capability of doing? Would you want to have like your own place to potentially keep a journal type thing? Because I mean, you will have the ability to automatically post screenshots, like really piece of cake, ideal tool to log trades and log setups and keep track of stuff, you know? Does that sound interesting to you? You could do it anonymously. You wouldn't have to use your name. I mean, I guess we would have to set that up for you, but no one else would have to know. Of course, I'd tell everybody if you're losing big time, and just let everybody know, hey, that's that dude John. Just losing his ass. What a loser. Just kidding. Does that sound interesting or not? Okay. All right. I think we're going to start off with just one thread where you guys can post. And then we'll just use that as kind of a discussion board. And then as we build up, we'll add more. And then we'll have the tools to do a kind of a competition style thing and see who's actually really good at doing the market geometry, which is really half the battle. All right, you guys have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow at 3:30 during that webinar. I mean, you know, most of you guys already own everything, so. And those of you that have been in the trading room, you're simply going to get moved over for a few months, probably at least 2.5, something like that. So you won't have to worry about anything for a little while. Just reap the reward, baby. All right, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Bye, everyone. Have a good one. Cheers.